Chapter 2390. Dandan used a formation to control the other party's consciousness. Together with Bubble's time reversal, she projected the other party's memories. It was as if time was flowing backward, and the memories appeared one by one. Soon, Lu Ming saw an image. It was the man in black discussing something with several others. The celestial emperors of House Hung and Exalted. Lu Ming recognized them at a glance. They were the celestial emperors of House Hung, Exalted, and He. There were two others that Lu Ming didn't recognize. Apart from them, the rest were the men in black from the nation of death. It really is House Hung and He. A cold glint flashed through Lu Ming's eyes. And House Mu. Although there was no sound in the memories, he could discern what they were saying from the shape of their lips. House Hong, He, Exalted Heaven Sect, and House Mu. I didn't go looking for you, but you've tried to kill me time and time again. There's no need for you to stay in this world, Lu Ming said coldly. The memories didn't stop, but continued to rewind. Soon, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He saw what he wanted to see: how to find the Nation of Death's headquarters. The Nation of Death's headquarters was an underground city, an ancient underground city. Moreover, it wasn't static, but mobile. Every once in a while, it would move to another location. Moreover, the way to get to the underground city was very complicated. One step was all it took to find it. No wonder no one has found the Nation of Death's headquarters after so many years, Lu Ming murmured, his eyes filled with cold killing intent. He would destroy the Nation of Death's headquarters as well. Suddenly, the man in black roared and convulsed. He fell to the ground, foaming at the mouth. The restriction on his soul has been activated. His soul has been destroyed and his nerves are damaged. His memories can no longer be seen. Dandan said, "That's enough. I've seen what I wanted to see," Lu Ming said. Bubble called it a day and sat on Lu Ming's shoulder to recover. Using time reversal consumed a lot of Bubble's energy. Lu Ming, do you want to deal with the Mu clan and Hung clan first? Or do you want to deal with the Nation of Death first? Dandan asked. Let's destroy the Mu family and Hung family first to avoid alerting the enemy. The Death God Nation isn't in a hurry. They definitely don't know that we've already found a way to reach their headquarters. Lu Ming sneered. Immediately, Lu Ming turned the corpses of the assassins into ashes. After that, he continued his journey towards Celestial City. Not long later, they arrived at Celestial City. When Lu Ming arrived at the Hong and He families, he found that the two families were already empty. Only a few people with low cultivation were left behind to guard them. They're leaving pretty fast. I reckon they've already gone to the Mu clan, Lu Ming sneered. Then, his aura erupted. Boom! Lu Ming's aura was like that of an ancient beast. His qi and blood were boiling, and it was terrifying to the extreme. The terrifying aura was like a tsunami, pressing down on the countless palaces of the Hung family. How could the remaining people of the Hung family resist this kind of pressure? Each and every one of them knelt on the ground in fear, as if they were facing a god. Who is that? What a terrifying aura. It's Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. What? Lu Ming? Didn't they say that he can't become an emperor? This kind of aura is simply boundless and unfathomable. I'm afraid that Lu Ming has already become an emperor. Moreover, his cultivation is unfathomable. All around, people discovered the situation here and began to discuss in shock. Clearly, Lu Ming had succeeded in his cultivation and came back to find trouble with the Hung family. This news spread out like a hurricane. In the Celestial City, countless silhouettes flew towards the Hung clan. The surroundings of the Hung family were surrounded tightly for a moment. Strange, why didn't anyone from the Hung family come out? There's not a single strong aura in the Hung family. All of them are very weak. Could it be that the Hung family knows that Lu Ming is coming, and the experts of the Hung family have all retreated? It's very likely. Looks like the Hung family is going to be wiped out today. Many people speculated and then became excited. The Hung family and the He family were the two strongest forces in Celestial City. With a great emperor overseeing them, they were usually arrogant and despotic. The other forces had to give them face. Now that they were really going to be wiped out, it was simply too satisfying. Everyone in the Hung family, listen up. From today onwards, The Hung family belongs to me. All of you, leave. I'll give you 1 hour. Those who don't leave will be killed without mercy." At this time, Lu Ming opened his mouth, and his voice spread to every corner. All of them were weaklings. Lu Ming disdained to make a move, because the number of these weaklings was too great. Hundreds of thousands, millions of them. Lu Ming wasn't a bloodthirsty person, and he wouldn't kill these weaklings either. If he wanted to kill, he would kill the strongest group of people. "Let's go." The people of the Hung family didn't hesitate. As soon as Lu Ming's voice fell, they rushed out of the Hung family one after another. Facing an enemy like Lu Ming, with their cultivation, it was impossible for them to resist. Only death awaited them if they resisted. The upper echelons of the Hung family had left. There was no need for them to protect the Hung family with their lives. Not long after, not a single person was left in the Hung family. "Dandan, help me set up a formation." Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan. "All right." Dandan nodded. His figure moved and flew out. With a wave of his hands, endless runes spread out. This time, Dandan spent a total of 3 days to set up the formation. A huge formation was formed, enveloping the countless palaces in the Hung family. With Dandan's current cultivation, unless the Heavenly Emperor came, no one would be able to break the formation that he spent 3 days to set up. Following that, Lu Ming entered the small world and discussed with Xiaowan, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master, and the others to send people to guard the Hung family. In the end, the Cloud Dragon Valley Master led the people of the Dragon God Valley to guard the He family. What a rich origin chi! The Cloud Dragon Valley Master and the others came out of Lu Ming's small world. They looked around excitedly, feeling the origin chi around them. Celestial City was the leader of the 9 great cultivation holy lands in the land of Yuan Mountain. The cultivation environment was many times better than Song Province. They were naturally excited. Moreover, the Hung family's territory was vast. Although there were many people in the Dragon God Valley, they could easily stay there. After the arrangements were made, Lu Ming came to the He family. The He family was the same as the Hung family. All the experts had left. Lu Ming easily occupied the He family and let Dandan set up a formation. Then, Lu Ming let the people of the Dragon God Valley and his parents out to stay in the He family. Although there was the Enlightenment ancient tree in his small world, the Heaven and Earth origin chi was far inferior to Celestial City. For the time being, the cultivation environment in Celestial City was better. Moreover, Lu Ming did not plan to let so many people stay in his small world. Because he had encountered many dangers along the way, he did not know what would happen in the future. If he encountered danger, the people in his small world would also be in danger. From now on, the Hung family and He family's properties will be under my name, Lu Ming. Chapter 2391. On this day, Lu Ming's voice spread throughout Celestial City. A terrifying aura filled every corner of Celestial City. Great Emperor. That was a powerful aura comparable to a great emperor. It was terrifying. Everyone was so shocked that they couldn't be any more shocked. Lu Ming had reached the great emperor realm in just a short period of time. He clan and Hung clan have done a lot of evil. Now that they have been eliminated, we will definitely assist the great emperor. Someone replied and addressed Lu Ming as great emperor. The properties left behind by He clan and Hung clan were very shocking. If he didn't use his strength to intimidate them, there would be people fighting for them. However, Valley Master Yunlong and Xiaowan were too weak to compete with these forces in Celestial City. Lu Ming could only intimidate them with his strength. With his intimidation, these people would not dare to act rashly. Looks like I have to send some puppets from Chaos Palace to guard this place. Lu Ming thought in his heart. The puppets in Chaos Palace were numerous experts. Except for 2E, Gene E, and the rest who were heavenly emperors, the rest were great emperors, true emperors, void emperors, saints, etc. It was enough to send a few great emperor puppets to guard this place. Lu Ming stayed in Celestial City for a few days. When things were more or less settled down, Lu Ming went to Ancient Sun Sacred Ground again. Daluo Heaven Sect was the same as Hung Clan and He Clan. Most of the higher-ups had left, leaving only a few weaker ones to guard this place. Lu Ming helped Ouyang Wushuang's clan to occupy Daluo Heaven Sect's territory. Hung clan, He clan, Daluo Heaven Sect. Do you think I can't do anything to you after you hide in Mu clan? Just nice, I'll wipe you all out. Lu Ming sneered. Killing intent flashed in his eyes. He stayed in Celestial City for a while and left a large amount of resources. Then, he left Celestial City and headed towards the Divine Fate Land. However, there was one more person on this trip, and that was Autumn Moon. He and Autumn Moon had not seen each other for many years, and Autumn Moon missed him dearly. Now that they had met, she naturally could not bear to part with him. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, the journey was very smooth. He crossed the sea and entered the Divine Fate Land. Lu Ming did not stop and went straight to Aeon City. The Mu family was one of the strongest forces in Aeon City. After Lu Ming, Autumn Moon, Bubbles, and Dandan entered Aeon City, they didn't take action immediately. Instead, they found a place to stay. However, Lu Ming did not conceal his identity. His goal was to alert the Mu family and gather all the experts of the Mu family. Then, he would wipe them out in one fell swoop. Mid-Autumn Moon, let's go out for a walk. Lu Ming said to Autumn Moon. Sure. Autumn Moon's face was full of smiles. She held Lu Ming's hand and walked out. The two of them strolled around Aeon City. Later, the two of them walked into a huge market. This was the largest market in Aeon City. There were all kinds of treasures inside, dazzling one's eyes. Before the Ten Earths assembly battle, Lu Ming came to Aeon City. However, due to the pressure from the Ten Earths assembly battle, Lu Ming did not have the chance to walk around to his heart's content. This was the first time he came to this market. Mid-Autumn Moon, what do you want? Just tell me. Lu Ming said with a smile. Sure. Autumn Moon blinked her big eyes a few times and then looked around. Later, they walked into a divine weapon shop. It sold all kinds of weapons, such as sacred weapons, void overlord weapons, and true overlord weapons. Young master, I want that. Autumn Moon looked for a while and pointed at a hairpin. This hairpin was made of a special kind of jade. It looked very exquisite. This young lady has good taste. This hairpin is made of 10,000-year-old warm jade. Wearing it will not only beautify your face, but also help in cultivation and comprehending the laws. It's a top-grade void overlord weapon. A tall and thin middle-aged man said with a smile. How many origin stones? I want it. Lu Ming said, 5,000 supreme-grade origin stones. The tall and thin middle-aged man said with a smile, 5,000 supreme-grade origin stones is so expensive. Young master, I don't want it. Autumn Moon was shocked when she heard that. 5,000 supreme-grade origin stones were supreme-grade origin stones, the highest grade of origin stones. Even great emperors and heavenly emperors used supreme-grade origin stones to cultivate. It was obvious how precious they were. 5,000 was indeed a high price. However, to Lu Ming, 5,000 supreme-grade origin stones were just a drop in the ocean. Silly girl, since you like it, I'll buy it no matter how expensive it is. Lu Ming smiled and waved his hand. A storage ring appeared. He threw it to the tall and thin middle-aged man and said, Shopkeeper, 5,000 supreme-grade origin stones. The tall and thin middle-aged man took the ring and scanned it with his spiritual consciousness. He smiled and then handed the hairpin to Lu Ming. As soon as Lu Ming took the hairpin, a voice was heard. Wait a minute, I want this hairpin. As the voice was heard, a group of people walked over. The leader was a young woman. She was very beautiful, but she was not as beautiful as Autumn Moon. Behind the young woman was a young woman dressed like a maid and two old men. When he saw the young woman, the shopkeeper's expression changed. He then smiled apologetically and said, So it's Miss Dongfang. It's an honor to have Miss Dongfang here. Shopkeeper, sell that hairpin to me, the young woman said in a commanding tone. The shopkeeper smiled bitterly and said, Miss Dongfang, you're too late. This young man has already bought the hairpin. The young lady responded coldly and looked at Lu Ming with a hint of arrogance. She lifted her neck and continued in a commanding tone. Give this hairpin to me. How many primordial stones do you want? I'll give them to you. I'm sorry, this hairpin is not for sale. Lu Ming said with a smile. Not for sale? The young woman's eyes narrowed and flashed with displeasure. She said, "You want to raise the price of the origin stones, right? Tell me, how many origin stones do you want?" I said, "I'm not for sale. I don't lack origin stones." Lu Ming said, "Kid, what did you say? My young lady has her eyes on it. You have to sell it even if you don't want to. You probably don't know who my young lady is. She's Dongfang Shuiyu, the #1 genius in the Divine Land. She's Xin Lin's fiancée. Do you know?" The servant girl behind the young lady jumped out and scolded, looking at Lu Ming threateningly. "The #1 genius in the Divine Land?" Lu Ming muttered. It seemed that Tianming, Yuan Xin, and the others had been in the Heaven Realm for decades. A new batch of geniuses had appeared in the Divine Land. "Are you afraid now? Let me tell you, young Master Xin Lin is the young master of the Xin family in Aeon City. If you don't respect him today, don't even think about leaving Aeon City." The maid continued to shout. The young woman, who was Dongfang Shuiyu, showed a proud look. "Xin Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, I've never heard of you. You can get lost now," Lu Ming said Dandan, then turned around and walked toward the mid-autumn moon. "I'll bring you the mid-autumn moon." Chapter 2392. Mid-autumn moon was already extraordinary. With the hairpin, she looked even more beautiful. Coupled with the blush on her cheeks, she looked even more alluring. Dongfang Shuiyu, who was at the side, was trembling with anger. Lu Ming actually told her to get lost? Who was she? She was a genius of her generation, and her fiancé was the #1 genius of the Divine Land. Lu Ming actually told her to get lost? Courting death. He was courting death. Dongfang Shuiyu screamed in her heart. Especially after seeing mid-autumn moon's beauty, she went crazy with jealousy. Women were naturally jealous. Dongfang Shuiyu had always been proud of her beauty. However, compared to mid-autumn moon, she was completely outshone by autumn moon. "Bitch, how dare you wear my hairpin? I'll tear your face apart." Dongfang Shuiyu screamed. Her body was like lightning as she pounced towards mid-autumn moon. Her claws were like knives as she clawed towards autumn moon's face. "Get lost!" Lu Ming shouted coldly as he slapped her. Lu Ming's speed was so fast that Dongfang Shuiyu couldn't dodge at all. She was slapped by Lu Ming. Slap! A crisp sound rang out. Dongfang Shuiyu screamed as her body flew out and fell to the ground. Her face was swollen. Of course, Lu Ming had held back. Otherwise, she wouldn't even be left with ashes. Dongfang Shuiyu was stunned. Everyone else in the shop was stunned. Lu Ming actually dared to slap Dongfang Shuiyu. Did he want to die? Kill him for me. Kill this bastard. Dongfang Shuiyu was stunned for a moment before she reacted and screamed. "Kid, you're courting death. Kneel down and admit your mistake." There were 2 old men who came with Dongfang Shuiyu. At this moment, one of them shouted and pounced towards Lu Ming. A terrifying aura exploded, and a strong pressure pressed towards Lu Ming. Everyone else at the side retreated. Martial Emperor. This old man was a martial emperor. However, he was only a 1-star illusionary martial emperor. He was the weakest martial emperor. Scram! Lu Ming shouted coldly and kicked out. His speed was as fast as lightning, and it landed on the opponent's face. The old man also screamed and flew out, following in Dongfang Shuiyu's footsteps. His face was swollen like a pig's. So strong. Everyone was shocked. Killing a 1-star martial monarch with a single move. Such strength was impressive. Moreover, Lu Ming did not look very old. There were not many people who could reach the martial emperor realm at his age in the entire divine fate land. "Scram! If you don't scram, I'll kill you," Lu Ming coldly shouted, and a chilling murderous intent filled the air. "Lu Ming, he's Lu Ming." Suddenly, someone shouted from the side. Lu Ming had taken first place in the Ten Lands meeting and was very famous. Many people had seen Lu Ming before, and now he was finally recognized. What? Lu Ming? Which Lu Ming? Nonsense. Of course it's that Lu Ming who defeated everyone and took first place in the first Ten Lands meeting. It's him. He disappeared for decades. I didn't expect him to appear again. All of a sudden, the The surrounding people discussed and sized up this legendary figure curiously. Lu Ming's reputation was very well known. In the divine fate land, as long as one's cultivation was slightly higher, they would have heard of him. He took first place in the first 10 lands meeting. His talent was unparalleled, but he could not become a martial emperor. So you're Lu Ming, a cripple who can never become a martial emperor. How dare you hit me? If you have the ability, don't leave. I'll tear you into pieces. At this moment, Dongfang Shuiyu screamed again. Oh, is that so? I'd like to see how you're going to tear me into pieces. I'll wait for you here, Lu Ming said and sat down on a chair at the side. You cripple trash, just you wait. Dongfang Shuiyu screamed a few times and hurriedly left with her people. Young Master Lu, you'd better leave quickly. Dongfang Shuiyu will definitely go to the Xin family to look for Xin Lin. The Xin family is one of the strongest forces in Aeon City. Their strength is unfathomable. The shopkeeper hurriedly came to warn him. No worries. Lu Ming smiled. It was better to blow things up and let the Mu family prepare. Lu Ming wanted to give the other party time to prepare. Seeing that he could not persuade him, the shopkeeper shook his head and retreated. Lu Ming and Autumn Moon waited leisurely. News of what happened here quickly spread. The first place in the 10 lands meeting, Lu Ming, reappeared. Moreover, he even slapped Dongfang Shuiyu in public. This was no small matter. Dongfang Shuiyu's fiancée was the #1 prodigy in the divine fate land. Would the two of them clash? Moreover, the Xin family would not let the matter rest. How should Lu Ming deal with it? Immediately, countless people who heard the news rushed over and surrounded the shop to watch. Xin Lin is here. Lu Ming did not wait for long before exclamations came from outside. A group of people stepped on the air. The leader was a young man. He was very handsome and wore a black iron battle suit. He looked mighty and extraordinary. This person was the #1 prodigy in the divine fate land, Xin Lin. Dongfang Shuiyu followed beside Xin Lin. At this time, the swelling on her face had subsided. Her face was full of tears, looking like she had suffered a great grievance. Behind them were some people who were all experts of the Xin family. Lu Ming, get out here. Xin Lin came to the door of the shop and roared. 3-star illusionary emperor, about 50 years old, far inferior to Tianming and the rest. Lu Ming did not go out. With a sweep of his spiritual consciousness, he knew Xin Lin's cultivation and age. Reaching 3-star illusionary emperor at the age of 50 was indeed far inferior to Tianming and Yuan Xian. Autumn Moon, let's go and meet the #1 prodigy. Lu Ming smiled faintly and walked out of the shop with Qiuyu. All of a sudden, all eyes fell on Lu Ming. Lu Ming. Xin Lin's gaze also fell on Lu Ming. How do you want to settle this? Lu Ming looked at Xin Lin. Fight with me. Xin Lin stepped out and his voice spread far away, revealing a strong fighting spirit. Many people's eyes lit up. Xin Lin wanted to challenge Lu Ming. One was the #1 prodigy now, the other was the #1 prodigy decades ago. Who was stronger between the two of them? Who do you think is stronger between Lu Ming and Xin Lin? It's hard to say, but I think it's Xin Lin. Lu Ming can't become an emperor. His cultivation is stuck at the quasi-emperor realm. No matter how much time has passed, it's difficult for him to improve. According to Lu Ming's strength back then, he can't be a match for Xin Lin. That's right, I think so too. Many people discussed and felt that Lu Ming was not a match for Xin Lin. The Sky Emperor said personally that Lu Ming could not become an emperor. This could not be wrong. Although Lu Ming was powerful back then, he could only fight with the top talents of 2-star illusionary emperors. On the other hand, Xin Lin's cultivation was a 3-star illusionary emperor. The law that he mastered was also the strongest law. His combat strength was extremely powerful. It was not difficult for him to suppress Lu Ming back then. Chapter 2393. Fight with me? I don't want to bully the weak. Lu Ming shook his head slightly. Xin Lin's cultivation was not worth mentioning in his eyes. Lu Ming, you don't dare to fight, do you? Xin Lin took a step forward in an aggressive manner. During the Battle of 10 Lands, he was still young and his cultivation was insufficient. He couldn't compete with Lu Ming and the rest, and that was something he regretted. He was ambitious and wanted to defeat Lu Ming to prove that if he was in that era, he could also become the #1 genius. If you want to fight, I'll fight with you, Autumn Moon said. Lu Ming, are you going to hide behind a woman? You are indeed useless. Useless. You actually won the first battle of 10 lands. What a joke. Attack. I'll defeat you in 10 moves. Xianlin shouted coldly and kept stepping forward. His powerful aura kept pressuring Lu Ming. In the end, he threw a punch and a giant tortoise was formed. It was as big as a mountain, and it pressed down on Lu Ming. Since you want to fight, I'll play with you, Lu Ming said calmly and stepped out. With a swoosh, Lu Ming charged towards Xianlin. Boom. Without seeing Lu Ming attack, Lu Ming charged past and Xianlin's giant tortoise exploded. Lu Ming didn't stop, and he appeared in front of Xianlin in an instant. The two of them were less than a meter apart. Xianlin's pupils constricted, and he roared in horror. He retreated frantically. But suddenly, he realized that he couldn't move at all. The space around him seemed to have been locked down. Lu Ming reached out and grabbed Xianlin's throat. Everyone couldn't help but open their eyes wide. What was going on? They didn't see Lu Ming attack, and there wasn't any powerful aura. How did Lu Ming grab Xianlin's throat? It was as if Xianlin was waiting there, and didn't move at all for Lu Ming to grab. Everyone couldn't figure it out. With your strength, you want to challenge me? Lu Ming said softly, his voice full of disdain. Xianlin struggled frantically, his eyes flashing with terror. Scram! Lu Ming swung his hand and Xianlin's body was smashed into the ground. With a loud bang, a huge crater appeared on the ground. Xianlin lay in the crater and vomited blood. Everyone else was dumbfounded. One move, no, Lu Ming didn't even make a move, and Xianlin was defeated. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. Wasn't Lu Ming unable to become a great emperor? How could he have such powerful battle prowess? Could it be that Lu Ming had already become a great emperor? Thinking of this, many people's hearts beat wildly. Lu Ming already grasped many laws below martial emperor. He even grasped different strongest laws. This was heaven-defying. Even the celestial emperor asserted that Lu Ming would never be able to break through and become a celestial emperor in his lifetime. However, if Lu Ming could create a miracle and become a celestial emperor, how powerful would his battle prowess be? Lu Ming, I want you dead. Kill him. Below, Xianlin screamed hysterically. He was the #1 genius in the divine fate land. He had never been defeated in a battle among his peers. He had never known the taste of failure. Just a moment ago, he had come in a domineering manner and said that he would defeat Lu Ming in 10 moves. However, now, he was easily defeated by Lu Ming. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. He couldn't accept such an outcome at all. He was furious and wanted to chop Lu Ming into pieces. A flower in a greenhouse can't withstand the wind and waves. Lu Ming shook his head, revealing a look of disdain. It seemed that Lu Ming's generation was the real golden generation. There were many geniuses, and they competed with each other. Many of them had strong minds and had experienced many storms. However, there were fewer geniuses in this generation. Xianlin's path had been too smooth. Although his talents were good, his mind was lacking compared to Tianming and the others. Once he met with failure and setbacks, he would immediately collapse. He couldn't bear it. Kill him for me, Xianlin screamed. Lu Ming's words had pierced his heart. Lu Ming, kneel down and accept your death. The few people who came with Xianlin dashed toward Lu Ming, emitting a terrifying aura. True emperors. 3 of them were true emperors. They were surrounded by godly light and looked like deities. Kneel down. The terrifying pressure of the true emperors pressed down on Lu Ming, wanting to force Lu Ming to his knees. Pressure my ass. All of you get lost. Lu Ming hollered and threw a punch out. The void exploded as the terrifying fist energy rushed towards the 3 true emperors. The 3 true emperors were almost scared to death when they felt Lu Ming's terrifying fist energy. That kind of power was simply not something they could contend against. They wanted to retreat, but it was too late. Boom. The force of the fist crushed over, and the bodies of the 3 people exploded. Then, Under the force of the fist, they turned into flying flames. The scene suddenly quieted down. Not a single sound could be heard. Everyone's eyes were wide open in disbelief. 3 true emperors, that was 3 true emperors. How could Lu Ming turn them into ashes with one punch? How was that possible? How could Lu Ming's combat ability be so powerful? Dongfang Shuiyu stood there in a daze, her mouth slightly open as if she was in a dream. Xin Lin was also stunned. His eyes were filled with fear and disbelief. Let me send you on your way. Lu Ming looked at Xin Lin and stomped down. A giant foot formed by the power of the world stomped down on Xin Lin. Xin Lin screamed in fear. At this moment, a figure flashed as fast as lightning and swept Xin Lin away before Lu Ming's giant foot stomped down. A white-haired old man in a white robe appeared in the distance. He was holding Xin Lin, who was still in shock. Great Emperor, Lu Ming whispered. It's one of the Xin clan's doyen, a great emperor. The Xin clan's great emperor has appeared. I think he's going to deal with Lu Ming. Lu Ming is too impulsive. The Xin clan is one of the strongest forces in Aeon City. Let's see how Lu Ming deals with the great emperor. A few people spoke out, recognizing this elder. Xin Lin was overjoyed when he came back to his senses. Doyen, ha, you came at the right time. Kill Lu Ming for me. Kill that bastard. Xin Lin shouted. Today, Lu Ming had humiliated him. He must kill Lu Ming to vent his anger. The Xin clan's doyen emitted a powerful aura. That was the aura of a great emperor. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, it was filled with terrifying pressure. Those with weaker cultivation had to kneel down. Ordinary people were too weak when facing a great emperor. They couldn't contend with him at all. It seems like you want to die too. Out of everyone's expectations, Lu Ming's face was calm as he spoke indifferently. He was actually threatening a great emperor. Everyone was dumbfounded. They originally thought that Lu Ming would be afraid when facing a great emperor. They thought that he would be terrified and run away. They never expected that Lu Ming would actually threaten a great emperor. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with cold light as he looked at the doyen. The Xin clan's doyen's heart beat wildly, as though he was being targeted by a terrifying beast. In the next moment, he would be torn apart and killed. This feeling shocked him greatly. What's going on? What a terrifying feeling. Could it be that Lu Ming's strength is far above mine? No, I must retreat today. Chapter 2394. Retreat. Xin family's grand elder shouted. Xin Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu, who was in a daze, retreated and disappeared in an instant. They retreated? All around, everyone was dumbfounded. They thought that Xin family's grand elder would make a move. They did not expect him to retreat. Why would Xin family's grand elder retreat? Was he afraid of Lu Ming and did not dare to make a move? That's impossible, right? No one could figure it out. Lu Ming did not pursue. His purpose of coming to Aeon City was not Xin family but Mu family. If Xin family did not want to die, he would not bother. Mu family should have gathered all their forces this time. I hope Hung family, He family, and Daluo Heaven sect are also here. Don't let me come here in vain. Lu Ming looked in the direction of Mu family and chuckled. In the crowd, some people's eyes flickered and then left. These people were naturally people from Mu family. Next, Lu Ming and Xiaoyu strolled for a while and then returned to their residence. The news of Lu Ming's return, defeating Xin Lin in one move, killing 3 true emperors with one punch, and even scaring away a great emperor from Xin family spread quickly. Not only did it spread throughout Aeon City, but it also spread to every corner of Divine Fateland. Countless people who heard the news were shocked. Lu Ming had broken through to Emperor Realm. Many people knew that Lu Ming had broken through to Martial Emperor Realm. The assertion of Heavenly Emperor was broken. Next, would Xin family make a move on Lu Ming? Many people guessed. As for Lu Ming's residence, it naturally attracted more people's attention. Many people were watching Lu Ming's residence at all times, concerned about the development of the situation. There were even many people who rushed over from other places. In Xin family's meeting hall, a group of people was discussing matters. These were the higher-ups of Xin family. Most of them were great Emperor Realm experts. Kill. We must kill Lu Ming. fellow Grand Elders, please do it. Xian Lin shouted. His eyes were blood-red and filled with ferocious killing intent. During this period of time, the news of him being easily defeated by Lu Ming had spread like wildfire. His reputation had plummeted and was no longer what it used to be. He hated Lu Ming so much that he wanted nothing more than to grind Lu Ming's bones into dust. I think so too. We need to kill Lu Ming. Another person spoke. Old Nine, tell me, why did you retreat before? At the very top was an extremely old man. At this moment, he was looking at the doyen who had saved Xian Lin. The Grand Elder from before was the 9th Grand Elder of the Xian family. Elder Nine frowned and pondered for a moment before he said, I can sense a terrifying aura from Lu Ming's body. I have a feeling that if I were to make a move, I would most likely die in Lu Ming's hands. What? Everyone else was shocked, and Xian Lin widened his eyes in disbelief. How is that possible? Could it be that Lu Ming could threaten the Great Emperor? Even if he is broken through to the Martial Emperor realm, it is impossible for him to break through to the Great Emperor realm so quickly. Impossible. Xian Lin found it hard to accept and shook his head repeatedly. Could it be that Lu Ming has really reached such a shocking level? The other Grand Elders whispered, and their gazes were solemn. The higher one's cultivation, the more accurate their intuition would be. A Great Emperor's intuition would generally not be wrong. Lu Ming cannot be judged by common sense. Once he breaks through to the Martial Emperor realm, he will be like a dragon entering the sea. There will be no restrictions. It is not impossible for him to have the combat strength of a Great Emperor. I suggest that we do not take action against Lu Ming for the time being. Let's observe the situation first. The oldest Grand Elder said, I agree. I agree too. The other Grand Elders nodded. Although the remaining Grand Elders and Xian Lin wanted to take action, most of the Grand Elders did not agree, and they had no choice. Time flew by and 5 days passed. At Lu Ming's residence. Brother Lu Ming, I have already found out that the Hung family, He family, and Daluo Heaven sect are all in the Mu family. Moreover, almost all the great emperors of the Mu family have returned to the Mu family headquarters. They seem to be on guard. Bubbles conveyed some information to Lu Ming. These days, Bubbles and Dandan went out to investigate the Mu family and finally found something. Lu Ming came to Aeon City. Needless to say, the 2 groups of assassins from the Death Nation had failed. Lu Ming's strength frightened the Mu family. It was natural for them to gather experts to deal with the Mu family. It's time. The Mu family, Hung family, He family, and Daluo Heaven sect will be destroyed today, Lu Ming said indifferently. Then he strode out and headed in the direction of the Mu family. Lu Ming's action naturally alarmed those who were paying attention to Lu Ming. Where is Lu Ming going? He is full of murderous intent. Is he going to kill his way to the Xian family? Impossible. No, this direction is not the Xian family. In the dark, many people were discussing and following behind Lu Ming secretly. Not long after, there were mountains and cranes in front of them. There were countless palaces. This was the Mu family. Boom. Lu Ming suddenly took a step forward. In the sky, endless power gathered and formed a giant foot. It covered the sky and the sun and stomped on the Mu family headquarters. The mountains trembled under the giant foot. Lu Ming was going to attack the Mu family? Everyone who followed him was dumbfounded. Their hearts were beating wildly. The Mu family's strength was stronger than the Xian family. What shocked them even more was Lu Ming's strength. This foot was like the foot of a deity. It was unbelievably powerful. Great Emperor. This was the strength of a great emperor. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually had the strength of a great emperor. No wonder the patriarch of the Xian family had retreated. Silhouettes flew out from the Mu family's palace. When they saw the huge foot, they were in a state of panic, and they flew everywhere. Impudent. A long roar came from the Mu family. A giant palm flew out from the Mu family and turned into a giant palm. It collided with Lu Ming's giant foot. Boom. The mountains trembled and the void collapsed. Terrifying energy swept out in all directions. The giant foot and the giant hand dissipated together. In the sky above the Mu family, a middle-aged man appeared. His aura was extremely terrifying. The Mu family's patriarch. In the distance, Someone whispered and recognized this person. Heavens, the Mu family's patriarch is said to be a 3-star great emperor. He just blocked Lu Ming's attack. Lu Ming has become so strong. Quick, spread the news. Something big has happened. Lu Ming is going to attack the Mu family. Quick. Many people discussed in shock. The news was spread out one by one. Aeon City was in an uproar. Countless people rushed towards the Mu family. When the Xin family received the news, they were also stunned. They then sent experts to the Mu family to monitor the situation. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. After the Mu family's patriarch appeared, many figures rushed out from the depths of the Mu family. Each of these figures exuded a vast and boundless aura. The pressure of the great Tao filled the world. These were all great emperors. There were more than 20 of them. Chapter 2395. More than 20 great emperors from the Mu clan lined up in a row. Their auras were as vast as the sea, filling the entire Aeon City with a terrifying pressure. Such a lineup made the onlookers change their expressions and tremble with fear. However, Lu Ming looked indifferent, as if he did not see so many great emperors. He glanced at the people of the Mu clan and frowned, saying, "Don't hide anymore. People of those clans, come out." The clans he mentioned were naturally the Hong clan, the He clan, and the Daluo Heaven sect. However, the master of the Mu clan sneered and did not answer Lu Ming's question. Instead, he asked, "Lu Ming, today you attacked the Mu clan for no reason. Do you think we are easy to bully? If you don't give an explanation today, you don't have to leave. Don't you know why I'm here? You're really good at pretending. The Mu clan, the Hong clan, the He clan, and the Daluo Heaven sect hired people from the Death Kingdom to kill me. Today's account should be settled properly." Lu Ming's voice spread all over the place. What? The Mu clan hired people from the Death Kingdom to kill Lu Ming? Is it true? It's very likely. Lu Ming killed the strongest genius of the Mu clan, Mu Yang. This is a deadly feud. How can the Mu clan let it go? Indeed, I'm afraid it's true. Otherwise, Lu Ming would not kill his way to the Mu clan. Lu Ming is really bold. He actually killed his way to the Mu clan. What do you think the result will be today? It's hard to say. If Lu Ming is not sure, he would not dare to come here. However, the Mu clan has been passed down for countless years, and its foundation is unfathomable. The result is hard to say. Lu Ming's words caused an uproar, and many people were talking about it. Nonsense. If the Mu clan wants to kill you, why would we hire people from the Death Kingdom? We can send anyone to kill you. The master of the Mu clan sneered. Any random person can kill me? Then I'd like to see if the Mu clan has this ability. Lu Ming sneered. Having said that, he stepped out and headed toward the Mu family. Bang! Bang! Every step Lu Ming took caused the void to vibrate continuously. Rays of light radiated from Lu Ming's body. That was the radiance of the laws. 1 type, 2 types, 3 types. All sorts of laws appeared one after another. When more than 10 types of laws appeared, the scene was dead silent. Everyone was tongue-tied, and their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. Oh my God, what did I see? The laws of primal chaos, the laws of death, the laws of life, and the laws of reincarnation. No, there's also the eternal law, the void law, the primordial law, and the space-time law. 8 of them. He has mastered 8 supreme laws. There are also 9 types of monarch Tao laws and 17 types of laws. He has mastered 17 types of laws. Moreover, he has cultivated all 17 types of laws to the limit and reached the 3rd realm. How is this possible? How is this possible? Freak. This is a freak. When they saw Lu Ming reveal all the laws, everyone in the surroundings shouted hysterically, unable to control their emotions. This could no longer be described as shock. Their emotions were 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times stronger than shock. The truth of cultivation was that a person could only master 1 type of supreme law. Moreover, not everyone could master the supreme law. Those who could master 1 type of supreme law were the top geniuses in the world. But now, there was a person who not only mastered the supreme law, but also not 1, 2, or 3 types, but 8 types. This was not only breaking the truth, but also trampling the truth into pieces. One could imagine how everyone felt. The people of the Mu clan were tongue-tied. Their eyes were wide open, and they were horrified. In the depths of the Mu clan, the experts of the Hung clan, He clan, and Daluo Heaven sect who were hiding in the dark were almost scared to death when they saw this scene. Lu Ming was shrouded in 17 types of light. He stood in the air like a god descending from the heavens. Come, let's see who can kill me. Lu Ming's eyes shot out 2 rays of divine light as he stared at the people of the Mu clan. So what if you have mastered 17 types of laws? You're still in the true emperor realm. Let me kill you. A tall and sturdy old man stepped out from the Mu clan like a lion. This old man's cultivation had reached the 3-star Great Sovereign realm. The Mu clan did not dare to underestimate Lu Ming. Although Lu Ming looked like a true emperor realm expert, he had mastered 17 types of laws. Most importantly, 8 of them were supreme laws. With the combination of so many laws, Lu Ming's combat strength could not be measured by common sense. It was possible for him to fight against a 1-star Great Sovereign or even a 2-star Great Sovereign, but they had sent out a 3-star Great Sovereign. The difference between a true emperor and a 3-star Great Sovereign was too great. They did not believe that Lu Ming could kill a 3-star Great Sovereign. Even if the 3-star Great Sovereign could not defeat him, he could at least keep his life and test out Lu Ming's true combat strength. Bang! Bang! The old man, who was like a lion, had a crazy aura. He stepped on the void and dashed toward Lu Ming at an increasingly fast speed. Slash! Suddenly, a saber appeared in the old man's hand, and he slashed towards Lu Ming. The saber light was shocking and lit up the sky as if it was going to split the sky of Aeon City into 2. Kill, Lu Ming said indifferently. Before his voice died away, a long spear appeared in his hand. It was a long spear that was formed by the laws and the power of the world. Lu Ming's arm muscles bulged, and he threw the long spear out. Swoosh! The long spear flew out like a ray of light, faster than lightning. This long spear not only contained the power of Lu Ming's power of the world, the power of the laws and the power of his physical body. The moment the long spear collided with the saber light was shattered. The long spear did not slow down and continued to stab towards the old man. The 3-star Great Sovereign of the Mu clan did not expect that his all-out attack could not withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. He was stunned for a moment, and his fate was sealed. Puff! Lu Ming's long spear directly pierced through his dantian and destroyed his small world. Together with his body, he flew out into the depths of the Mu family and crashed into a hall. Boom! The palace directly exploded, and a large group of figures flew out from inside. These people were from the Hong clan, He clan, and Daluo Heaven sect. The 3-star Great Sovereign of the Mu clan was pierced through by Lu Ming's long spear. He was nailed to the ground and screamed in agony. My cultivation base, my cultivation base. The shrill screams were heard all over the place. Hiss! The whole place was filled with gasps. A 3-star Great Sovereign was nailed to the ground by Lu Ming, and his cultivation was destroyed. This scene was too shocking. A 3-star Great Sovereign could not withstand a single blow. How could this be? Had Lu Ming's combat strength reached such a terrifying level? Everyone felt like they were dreaming. In the crowd in the distance, there were people from the Xin clan who were watching. There were several founding elders, including Xin Lin and Dongfang Shueyu. At this moment, they were completely petrified and could not stop gasping. How could this be? How could this be? Xin Lin was like a fool and kept whispering. Chapter 2396. Hung clan, He clan, and Daluo Heaven sect are all here. Lu Ming looked at the Hung family and the He family, revealing a cold smile at the corners of his lips. People from the Mu family, including the Hung family, the He family, and the Daluo Heaven sect, all looked terrible. Their eyes were full of shock. Lu Ming, you crippled the cultivation of the Mu family's great emperor for no reason. You must pay the price today. The great emperor of Mu clan roared. Boom, boom, boom. At this moment, more than 20 great emperors from Mu clan struck at the same time. More than 20 great emperors from Mu clan, ranging from 1-star great emperors to 5-star great emperors, struck at the same time. The void instantly collapsed, and terrifying attacks were directed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's combat ability was far beyond their imagination, and they were terrified. They wanted to kill Lu Ming in an instant so that he would not be left with a corpse. Buzz. Lu Ming's muscles suddenly vibrating billions of times in an instant. The void collapsed and Lu Ming's figure dashed out. The moment Lu Ming dashed out, he unleashed the 6-feathered divine wings to increase his speed. In an instant, he dodged the other party's joint attack and charged toward the Mu family's great emperors. Gather, gather! The master of Mu clan roared. More than 20 great emperors from Mu clan gathered together and formed a circle. This way, they could prevent Lu Ming from attacking them one by one. Is it useful to join forces? Lu Ming's cold voice resounded, and a long spear appeared in his hand again. However, this long spear was not formed by Lu Ming's order. It was a real long spear. Great Spear of Desolation. Heaven Weapon. Although Lu Ming could not display the power of Heaven Wei in the Heaven Weapon, the material of the Great Spear of Desolation was sturdy and indestructible. It could allow Lu Ming to display all of his strength and enhance Lu Ming's combat strength. Boom! Lu Ming held the Great Spear of Desolation and unleashed his strength to the extreme. He swept the spear out. The sky continued to explode as the Great Baron's spear swept up an endless void storm towards the 20 over great emperors from the Mu clan. The might of the spear was shocking to the extreme. It was as if the spear was going to crush all 20 or so great emperors of the Mu clan. Join hands! The head of the Mu family roared. All the great emperors of the Mu family joined forces and blasted out various attacks toward Lu Ming. Among the 20 over great emperors of the Mu clan, there were a few 5-star great emperors with astounding strength. With so many people joining forces, they could definitely contend with a 6-star great emperor. Boom! Their attacks collided with Lu Ming's long spear. A terrifying explosion erupted, and the force swept out in all directions. Retreat! Retreat! The spectators frantically retreated to create enough distance between them. Most of the spectators were not great emperors, so they didn't dare to get too close. Otherwise, they would be killed if Lu Ming and the others got involved. After the explosion, Lu Ming's body shook and he retreated. However, the 20 over experts of the Mu clan also retreated. Some of the weaker ones even spat out mouthfuls of blood and were severely injured. Lu Ming's current combat strength, physical body, power of the realm, power of law, and the Great Baron's spear were enough to contend with a 6-star great emperor. How could the 1-star and 2-star great emperors withstand a head-on collision? Again, Lu Ming retreated a few steps and took a step in the void to stabilize himself. With the Great Baron's spear in his hand, he charged towards the great emperors of the Mu clan again. Boom! This time, Lu Ming held the Great Baron's spear with both hands and smashed it down with the weight of Mount Tai. Boom! The Great Baron's spear rapidly enlarged and became as heavy as a mountain, as if it could crush everything. The 20 over great emperors of the Mu clan roared and unleashed their strongest attacks towards the Great Baron's spear. The attacks from both sides collided once again. Buzz! The Great Baron's spear vibrated continuously and was repelled away. However, the people of the Mu clan were in a worse state. A few of the 1-star great emperors trembled violently and their bodies cracked from the terrifying recoil. Their bodies were covered in blood, and their auras were weak. They were unable to continue fighting. Heal yourselves first, the Mu clan's patriarch roared. However, Lu Ming's third attack arrived at this moment. This collision caused the Mu clan's 2-star great emperors to tremble violently and almost die from the recoil. They were unable to continue fighting. Again, Lu Ming was like a martial emperor war god as his attacks rained down like a storm. The number of great emperors of the Mu clan was decreasing, and they were no match for Lu Ming. Towards the end, they were at a disadvantage in every collision. Towards the end, even the 3-star great emperors and 4-star great emperors were injured. Even the 5-star great emperors were pale and gasping for breath. The hearts of the people who were watching the battle from all directions were in a perilous situation. They were shocked to the extreme. Lu Ming's combat strength was too strong. He was completely suppressing the Mu clan. Was the Mu clan going to be annihilated today? In the depths of the Mu clan, the Han clan's great emperors, He clan's great emperors and Tian Luo great emperors were pale and their eyes were filled with disbelief. They found it hard to believe that Lu Ming's combat strength had reached such a level. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could kill them in an instant if he wanted to. How can this be? They roared in their hearts as they could not accept this fact. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming continued to attack, and his attacks became more and more violent. In the end, the Mu clan's 5-star great emperors were injured and were no match for Lu Ming. Kill! Suddenly, Lu Ming's attack changed. He went around the 5-star great emperors, and the great desolate spear shook violently. In an instant, dozens of spear lights were shot out. His target was the low-level great emperors. Not good, we blocked it. The Mu clan's high-level great emperors' faces changed drastically. They unleashed their full strength in an attempt to block Lu Ming's attack. However, no matter how hard they tried, they could only block half of the spear lights. The remaining spear lights continued to pierce towards the low-level great emperors. The low-level great emperors, especially the 1-star and 2-star great emperors, tried their best to block, but it was useless. The 1-star and 2-star great emperors' foreheads were pierced by the spear lights and their souls were destroyed. Dead. The Mu clan's 1-star and 2-star great emperors were instantly annihilated. A total of 8 of them died. 8 great emperors were instantly annihilated. This caused everyone to be shocked, and at the same time, it also caused the people of the Mu clan to be furious and filled with murderous intent. Lu Ming, I want you to die without a burial place. The Mu clan's patriarch roared. His eyes were bloodshot, and his face was ferocious. 8 great emperors. How great of a loss was this? His heart was bleeding. Their Mu clan had been passed down for countless years. They had relied on a long time to accumulate so many great emperors. However, 8 of them had died in an instant. This was an unbearable loss. Now you know how to feel heartache. If you knew this would happen, you wouldn't have thought of this day when your Mu clan wanted to kill me. At this moment, in this world, you won't be the only ones killing others. Others won't kill you. Lu Ming said coldly. There was no pity or sympathy in his voice. He and the Mu clan were mortal enemies. It was either you die or I die. Chapter 2397. The people of the Mu family were speechless and could only look at Lu Ming with murderous intent. Kill. Lu Ming said coldly. He held the long spear in his hand and charged forward again. Today, he would not leave any of the upper echelons of the Mu family alive. Evil creature, die. At this moment, a loud roar came from the depths of the Mu family. The voice was filled with vicissitudes of life. Then, a terrifying blade light slashed out from the depths of the Mu family. Peak Great Emperor. When this blade light appeared, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. The Mu family was indeed unfathomable. There were still experts who had not made a move. There were actually peak great emperors in hibernation. Ha ha ha, I have been waiting for this moment. A loud laugh came. Then, a huge tortoise shell appeared out of thin air and blocked the blade light. It was Dandan who had made a move. Previously, he and Bubble had been watching from the side without any intention of making a move. It was to prevent the Mu family from having stronger existences. Clang. The blade light slashed on the tortoise shell. The shell shook and dissipated. However, the blade light was also blocked. Boom, boom. Then, a terrifying aura erupted from the depths of the Mu family. A total of 5 auras erupted. It was vast and mighty. A terrifying pressure spread between heaven and earth. Then, 5 old men stepped out and appeared in front of everyone. These 5 old men were very old. Their hair was snow-white and their skin was dry and wrinkled. They were like 5 withered skeletons. Old ancestors. The Mu family head was overjoyed. It's the old ancestors. The old ancestors are indeed not dead. They have come out of seclusion. Let's see how they will die this time. The other people of the Mu family were also overjoyed. The Mu family indeed has a strong foundation. These should be the old monsters who are in seclusion. Someone who was watching the battle from afar said. The Mu family was definitely one of the strongest forces in Aeon City. They had a strong foundation. Legend had it that a long time ago, the Mu family had even produced a heavenly emperor. However, the heavenly emperor of the Mu family died in battle. But from this, it could be seen how strong the Mu family was. There had always been a legend that there were some old monsters in seclusion in the depths of the Mu family. They cultivated wholeheartedly and did not care about the outside world. They only wanted to raise their cultivation to resist the heavenly tribulation and even break through to the heavenly emperor realm. Only when the Mu clan was in danger, he would not come out of seclusion. Today, after the Mu clan's martial monarchs were killed one after another, these old men had indeed come out. The Mu clan's resources are truly profound. Today, we're saved. Lu Ming is dead for sure. The Hong clan great monarch, Tian Luo great monarch, and the others were overjoyed. 3 6-star great emperors and 2 7-star great emperors. Dandan, I'll leave them to you. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Dandan. Don't worry, I'll take care of it soon. Dandan was very confident. Back at the Void God Island, Dandan was only a 6-star great emperor, but he could suppress other peak great emperors and even kill them. Moreover, Dandan had already become a peak 7-star great monarch. With his strength, it was easy for him to kill those who were at the same level as him. The 5 old men from the Mu clan swept their gazes over Lu Ming like lightning. Their cold and shriveled voices rang out. You killed a member of my Mu clan. Kill without mercy. Kill your sister. Have a taste of my invincible tortoise fist. Dandan charged out with extreme speed and threw a punch at one of the peak great emperors from the Mu clan. His punch was filled with dazzling runes, as though it was forming a world. The old man from the Mu clan was shocked and quickly set up layers of defense. However, these defenses were useless as they were penetrated by Dandan's punch. Then, Dandan's fist landed heavily on the old man's face. Bam! Kacha! The sound of bones breaking resounded throughout the place. The old man from the Mu clan cried out in pain as his body flew far away and smashed into a palace in the Mu clan. Everyone was dumbfounded. One of the old men from the Mu clan had a terrifying aura as he was a peak great emperor. The moment he appeared, everyone was shocked. However, his arrogance only lasted for a few seconds before he was sent flying with a single punch. Moreover, the one who sent him flying was a teenager who wore a Taoist robe. A teenage Taoist priest. With Dandan's appearance, it was easy for people to overlook him because he wasn't that impressive. However, at this moment, the impact on everyone was the greatest. Lu Ming did have a helper. His combat strength is shockingly strong. He sent a peak great emperor flying with a punch. No wonder he dared to attack the Mu clan. Terrifying. Is the Mu clan really finished today? Many people were discussing. Among them, the Xin clan was the most shocked. Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu swallowed their saliva as cold sweat flowed down their faces. Their clothes were drenched in cold sweat. At this moment, they were secretly glad that they didn't attack Lu Ming. Otherwise, their Xin clan would be finished. The Xin clan's strength couldn't be compared to the Mu clan. They would really be finished. Pervert. Pervert. I'll never provoke this pervert again. Xian Lin roared in his heart. He was really scared. At this moment, the remaining 4 old men from the Mu clan felt goosebumps all over their body. They instinctively retreated frantically and distanced themselves from Dandan. You dare to flaunt your seniority in front of me? You don't know the meaning of death. Kill. Dandan flicked his sleeves, looking like a peerless expert. Then, he charged towards the Mu clan's ancestors. A huge world appeared. It was vast and boundless, exuding a majestic pressure that pressed down on the Mu clan's ancestors. Even if others condensed a small world, they wouldn't be able to directly use it against their enemies. This was because the small world they condensed wasn't as stable and would be easily destroyed by others. However, Dandan could do it. He was the world divine tortoise. The word world wasn't just for show. His control over the small world had reached the peak. The small world was incomparably stable and possessed great power. It also had an indestructible defense. The small world covered the sky as it pressed down. The Mu clan's ancestors had nowhere to run. They could only face it head-on. Boom, boom, boom. The Mu clan's elders attacked. Four attacks were launched towards Dandan's small world. Behind them, the elder who was almost killed by Dandan's punch also made a move. However, the 5 attacks only caused Dandan's small world to tremble. They couldn't break it or block it. Boom. Boundless power pressed down. The 3 6-star Great Emperors cried out in pain as they vomited blood. Their bodies cracked and were covered in blood. The 2 peak Great Emperors were slightly better off, but they were also severely injured. Swoosh. Dandan turned into a phantom and charged forward, unleashing a bloody massacre. After a few screams, the 3 6-star Great Emperors were killed by Dandan in an instant. No. The Mu clan's patriarch and the others cried out in horror. They couldn't accept such an outcome. Kill. At this moment, Lu Ming roared and launched a violent attack. Although the Mu clan's experts resisted with all their might, the outcome was already decided. Screams were heard continuously. The Mu clan's great emperors died one after another in the hands of Lu Ming. Chapter 2398. Let's go, let's go. In the distance, the Hong clan's heavenly emperor, Tianluo Great Emperor, and the others were almost scared to death. Then, they led their subordinates and turned around to escape from the Mu clan. Lu Ming's strength had far exceeded their imagination. They knew that if they didn't run, they would be the ones to die. Every one of the Mu clan, let's go. At this moment, the Mu clan's patriarch roared, his voice spreading far and wide. He knew that the Mu clan was finished today. The Mu clan would be removed from the divine fate land, but he didn't want the Mu clan to be destroyed. He wanted the rest of the Mu clan to escape. Patriarch. Someone from the Mu clan cried out in grief. Let's go, let's go. The Mu clan's patriarch roared, but his roar stopped abruptly. This was because Lu Ming's long spear had pierced through his dantian, crippling his cultivation. He let out a mournful cry. His eyes were filled with despair. Let's go. The Mu clan's experts below the great emperor level turned into streaks of light, flying in all directions like countless meteors streaking across the void. You want to leave? Have you asked for my permission? Dandan sneered. He waved his hands, and runes entered the void. Then, countless runes appeared around the Mu clan, forming a light barrier that enveloped the entire Mu clan. A formation. A few days ago, Dandan had quietly set up a formation around the Mu clan. Today, no one would be able to escape. No. Seeing the formation, the Hong clan's great emperor, Tianluo Great Emperor, and the others roared in despair and attacked the light barrier. However, this was a formation that Dandan had spent a few days setting up. With their cultivation base, how could they break it? Their attacks landed on the light barrier, but there wasn't even a trace of ripple on the light barrier. No, no, no. The Mu clan's people roared in madness and attacked crazily. They were filled with despair. Why is this happening? An eminent elder of the Mu clan looked up and sighed. They had only offended a young man of the younger generation, that's all. A young man of the younger generation should be killed. Their Mu clan had existed for so long. Along the way, they had offended countless so-called geniuses and killed countless so-called geniuses. Even though those sky prides were extremely talented, they were still crushed into dust in the face of their strength. Never in their wildest dreams would they have thought that offending a prodigy this time would send their Mu clan to their doom. In the depths of the sky, at an unknown height, there were 2 figures standing there. Everything below fell into their eyes. These 2 people were none other than Hong Xinghe and his master, the 9 Demons' heavenly emperor. Master, it seems that Lu Ming brought the world turtle with him. There should be no sky emperor with him. Should we make a move now? Stellar River asked. Are you worried about the Hung family? The 9 Devil Celestial Emperor asked. No. Xinghe shook his head and said, I just feel that it's about time. Let's wait and see. The 9 Demons' heavenly emperor said, after killing Lu Ming, these people from the Hung family will definitely die too. They will be killed by the Sky Emperor behind Lu Ming. No matter what, they won't be able to live, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's wait and see. Do you understand? This disciple understands. Xinghe bowed and nodded. The 2 continued to watch. The battle below was nearing its end. Dandan intervened and killed several 5-star great emperors from the Mu clan with a few slaps. The remaining great emperors were all killed by Lu Ming. None of the Mu clan's great emperors were left alive. This scene was truly shocking. The spectators all felt their hearts beating wildly, unable to calm down. The Mu clan had dominated the Aeon City for countless years. Even in the divine Fate Land, they were considered a top force. All of their great emperors were killed by a young man just like that. The world was really unpredictable. The Xian clan's eminent elders, Xian Lin and Dongfang Shueyu, were drenched in cold sweat. Their faces were pale, and they were terrified. If they hadn't held back and attacked Lu Ming, the Xian clan would have been destroyed. Bam! Bam! With the long spear in his hand, Lu Ming walked step by step toward the great emperors of the Hung family, He family, and Tian Luo family. Lu Ming, don't kill us. Xinghe already has a Sky Emperor as his master. If you destroy our Hung family, Xinghe won't let you go. Hung family's great emperor shouted. You're still threatening me at this time? How foolish. I will kill Xinghe with my own hands in the future. Lu Ming said coldly as his footsteps quickened. Hung family's great emperor and the others were in despair. They kept retreating, but they were blocked by the array. I won't attack unless I'm attacked. I didn't provoke you from the beginning. Everything is your own fault. Today, let's end it all. Kill. Lu Ming roared and stabbed out with his spear. Puff. The spear pierced Tianluo Great Emperor's forehead, killing him in the air. No. Hung family's great emperor and He family's great emperor were terrified. They flew to the sides, but Lu Ming stabbed out 2 more times. The 2 of them followed in Tianluo Great Emperor's footsteps and were killed by Lu Ming. Kill, kill, kill. Then, Lu Ming attacked crazily. He didn't show any mercy and turned into a killing machine. Endless spear radiance burst out from his hand and rushed towards the remaining experts from Mu family, Daluo Heaven Sect, and He family. Lu Ming was only merciful to the Hung family. That was because of Hong Yu Heavenly Emperor. Hung family was the descendant of Hong Yu Heavenly Emperor after all. Hong Yu Heavenly Emperor had helped Lu Ming a lot. Lu Ming didn't want to exterminate Hung family. Lu Ming only killed a few higher-ups from Hung family. Lu Ming didn't kill the rest. However, Lu Ming showed no mercy to Mu family, He family, and Daluo Heaven Sect. All the people above the Martial Emperor realm were killed by Lu Ming. For a time, this area was filled with bloodshed. It was like hell on earth. Hung family, for the sake of Hong Yu Heavenly Emperor, I won't exterminate you. Get out. Lu Ming looked at the remaining people from Hung family. Go, go. The remaining people from Hung family rushed in one direction. Dandan waved his hand, and the formation automatically separated. It didn't stop them. I, Lu Ming, don't want to kill more people below the Martial Emperor realm. If you want revenge in the future, come to me. Get out. Finally, Lu Ming looked at those people below the Martial Emperor realm. Those people fled in all directions, as if they had been granted amnesty. Soon, there was no one left in the Big Mu family. The Mu family, which dominated Aeon City, was destroyed. It was destroyed by a young man. Dandan, Bubbles, Autumn, let's go. Lu Ming said and turned away. He didn't want to kill more people. However, in this world, things didn't always go as you wished. There were bound to be some obstacles if you wanted to reach the top. This guy is still too soft-hearted. Dandan curled his lips and followed Lu Ming out. But at this moment, Dandan's face changed dramatically and he looked into the depths of the sky. Chapter 2399. Lu Ming felt a terrifying sense of danger. This sense of danger came from the depths of the sky dome. Swoosh. At this moment, a sword light shone from the depths of the sky. The light of this sword light was dozens of times brighter than the sun. It illuminated heaven and earth, and a vast pressure of the heavenly Tao filled the air. Everyone felt a great terror in their hearts. Sky Emperor, there is indeed a Sky Emperor behind this. Who is it? Lu Ming's mind was racing. After he destroyed the Mu clan, he thought it was the Mu clan, the Hong clan, the He clan, and the Daluo Heaven sect behind this. He thought it was over. However, when the sword light appeared, Lu Ming knew it was not over yet. There was still a Sky Emperor realm expert hiding behind the scenes and only struck at the last moment. Cautious. The Sky Emperor was extremely cautious. Even when he struck at the last moment, he struck from a distance. Don't even think about it. At this moment, Dandan shouted. Countless runes were emitted from his body. Around the Mu clan, the array appeared again, forming a ray of light that shrouded the area. Then, Dandan waved his hand. Pieces of turtle shells appeared out of thin air, blocking the sword light from piercing towards Lu Ming. The great spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand. Puff. At this moment, the sword light had arrived. The array set up by Dandan had amazing defensive power. However, when the sword light pierced the light screen shook violently and was pierced through. The sword light pierced through the light screen and bombarded the layers of turtle shells set up by Dandan. Bam, bam, bam. The turtle shells set up by Dandan exploded continuously. A terrifying force swept out in all directions. In the end, Dandan groaned. His body flew far away, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, after Dandan's continuous obstruction, the power of the sword light had been greatly weakened. However, it did not stop and continued to attack Lu Ming. Block it! Lu Ming roared and revealed a crazed look. All 17 types of laws erupted and covered the great desolate spear. Then, Lu Ming stabbed out with all his strength. This spear was Lu Ming's strongest spear. All of his strength erupted at this moment. Clang! The great desolate spear collided with the sword light. Lu Ming immediately felt a terrifying energy rush towards him through the great desolate spear. Wong! The great desolate spear trembled incessantly. Lu Ming was forced back. His arms and body were covered with sword scars. It was as if he had been struck by hundreds of swords in an instant. But in the end, he managed to block it. Lu Ming circulated the indestructible ancient scripture with all his might. His injuries were rapidly recovering. Deep in the sky, it seems like there really are no other Sky Emperors here. Lu Ming, today, your everything will be mine. Disciple, let's go. The 9-demon heaven emperor's face was filled with ecstasy as he swept up the eternal river and headed downwards. That sword strike just now was just a test. If there was a Sky Emperor here, he would have fled immediately. However, seeing how Lu Ming and Dandan were resisting with all their might, he concluded that there was no Sky Emperor by Lu Ming's side. Not far in front of Lu Ming, a light flashed and 2 figures appeared out of thin air. Hung Xinghe, 9-demon heaven emperor, it's you. Seeing Hung Xinghe and the 9-demon heaven emperor, Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. It seemed like the person behind this was the 9-demon heaven emperor. He did not let Tui and Lei come out just now because he wanted to lure them out. Lu Ming, you killed the innocent. Today, my master will enforce justice on behalf of the heavens. Hung Xinghe shouted. He, enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens? Don't make it sound so dignified. Hung Xinghe, I underestimated you in the past. You're really inhumane. You even wanted to use the Hung family. Moreover, you didn't do anything when the Hung family was destroyed. Lu Ming sneered coldly. Lu Ming, you're a sensible person. Take out everything you have. Remember, everything. And this old man will give you a quick death. The 9-demon heaven emperor spoke, and his aura spread out. A Sky Emperor could borrow the power of the heavenly Tao. That aura was too terrifying, as if the heavenly Tao was pressing down on them. Everyone in Aeon City paled, feeling the terrifying pressure. Sky Emperor. Oh heavens, it's a Sky Emperor. There's actually a Sky Emperor behind this. Lu Ming is finished. He actually offended a Sky Emperor. Many people screamed in their hearts, but no one dared to speak out, afraid of offending a Sky Emperor. In the eyes of everyone in Aeon City, a Sky Emperor was a supreme existence. With a single thought, they could turn 1,000,000 corpses into a river of blood. Now, there was actually a Sky Emperor who wanted to kill Lu Ming. Lu Ming was dead for sure. 9-demon heaven emperor. Looks like you're coveting the treasures on me. It's easy for you to kill me, but if this matter gets out, you won't have a place to hide. Lu Ming said with a calm expression. Ha ha ha, the world is so big. When the time comes, who can find me if I just hide? The 9-demon heaven emperor laughed loudly, looking at the great spear in Lu Ming's hand. full of blazing flames, full of greed. Want my treasure? Come and take it yourself. Want me to hand it over? That's impossible, Lu Ming said, deliberately retreating slowly, resisting stubbornly, dragging out your hunger. The nine-demon heaven emperor said coldly. His figure swayed, pouncing towards Lu Ming. Fast, too fast. How astonishing was the speed of a sky emperor. It was unbelievably fast. Before everyone could react, he had already arrived in front of Lu Ming. His claws were like hooks, grabbing towards Lu Ming's glabella. With such speed, Lu Ming couldn't dodge even if he wanted to. However, Lu Ming had no intention of dodging at all. Lu Ming stood there calmly, allowing the other party to grab at him. Lu Ming is dead for sure. Many people had such a thought in their minds. But at this moment, Lu Ming suddenly had an extra arm. A khaki-colored arm directly blasted out from Lu Ming's body, blasting towards the nine-demon heaven emperor's claws. It really looked like Lu Ming had an extra arm out of thin air. Boom! There was a deafening explosion, and the nine-demon heaven emperor's body shook violently. He couldn't help but retreat 100 miles. A figure also appeared on Lu Ming's body. It was a khaki-colored figure with a burly figure and a mountain-like aura. It was Tui. Chaos Hall, Tui. The nine-demon heaven emperor's face was extremely ugly. Nine demons, looks like you're tired of living. To dare have designs on my Chaos Hall's young lord. Tui opened his mouth coldly, his eyes somewhat ferocious. All around, the others were dumbfounded. This unforeseen event exceeded everyone's expectations. Originally thought that Lu Ming was dead for sure, but did not expect that a figure would suddenly appear on Lu Ming's body. Furthermore, this figure was clearly also a Sky Emperor. Behind Lu Ming, there was also a Sky Emperor realm existence. Furthermore, listening to the meaning, this Sky Emperor addressed Lu Ming as young lord and listened to Lu Ming's orders. The nine-demon heaven emperor's expression was extremely ugly, but Hung Xinghe's expression was even uglier. Damn it! How is this possible? Hung Xinghe roared angrily in his heart. They already probed several times and were virtually certain that Lu Ming did not have a Sky Emperor following by his side. They did not expect that Lu Ming still had a Sky Emperor by his side. Chapter 2400. Let's go. The nine-demon heavenly the arch shouted as a surge of energy swept across Xinghe, forcing him to retreat. With Tui out, he knew that he couldn't do anything to Lu Ming, so he had to retreat. Staying alive was the most important thing. It's too late to leave now. A cold voice was heard, followed by a flash of lightning. A figure appeared behind the nine-demon heavenly the arch. The figure was covered with lightning. It was Lei Yi. The nine-demon heavenly the arch stopped in his tracks as his face darkened. Beside Lu Ming were Lei Yi and Tui. There were two heavenly thearchs. With two heavenly thearchs surrounding him, he was in danger. A look of despair appeared on Xinghe's face. Lu Ming, what happened today is a misunderstanding. How about I apologize to you in front of everyone another day? The nine-demon heavenly the arch smiled flatteringly. Misunderstanding? Hee. Kill him. Lu Ming spoke calmly and gave the order directly. He wouldn't give the nine-demon heavenly the arch any chance. The nine-demon heavenly the arch must die. Kill. Lei Yi roared as lightning surrounded his body. He threw a punch at the nine-demon heavenly the arch. Lu Ming, look who's dead. The nine-demon heavenly thearch's eyes were ferocious as he charged at Lu Ming with Xinghe. Tui stepped out and threw a punch at the nine-demon heavenly the arch. However, the nine-demon heavenly the arch waved his hand and threw Xinghe at Tui. Master! Xinghe screamed in desperation. Rest in peace. I'll avenge you. The nine-demon heavenly thearch's cold voice rang in Xinghe's ears. Arg! Xinghe screamed in agony as his body was crushed into dust by Tui's terrifying punch. He couldn't fight back at all. Seizing this opportunity, the nine demons heavenly the arch dashed toward Lu Ming in a flash. He wanted to take down Lu Ming and use Lu Ming as a hostage to escape. He wanted to get all the resources from Lu Ming, such as the indestructible ancient scripture. You're courting death. Tui roared as a meteor hammer appeared in his hand. With a swing, the meteor hammer shot towards Nine Demon Sky Emperor like a meteor. Its speed was unbelievably fast, and it emitted a terrifying heavenly Tao pressure. The Nine Demon Sky Emperor's pupils contracted rapidly as he let out a desperate roar. Heavenly Tao Soldier. This meteor hammer was naturally the heavenly Tao weapon that Lu Ming had given to 2E. The meteor hammer's speed was unbelievably fast. It caught up to the Nine Demon Sky Emperor in an instant. He had no time to attack Lu Ming and could only turn around to defend. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A long sword appeared in the Nine Demon Sky Emperor's hand. In an instant, he stabbed out hundreds of times. Hundreds of sword lights converged into one sword and blasted towards the meteor hammer. But it was useless. He could not block it at all. 2E was already stronger than the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor, and with the addition of the Heavenly Tao weapon, his battle prowess was far above the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor's. Boom! With a loud boom, the meteor hammer smashed through the Nine Demon Celestial Emperor's sword light with an unstoppable momentum and continued on its way to him. At this critical moment, the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor could only block it with his battle sword. But when the meteor hammer landed on the battle sword, the top-grade Great Emperor weapon exploded. The terrifying force slammed heavily onto the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor's body. The Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor screamed as his body was sent flying. His body was split into two. Although he was not dead, he was severely injured. His aura was weak and his face was pale. After being hit by the Heavenly Tao Soldier, the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor's strength was reduced to less than 10%. Lu Ming, I surrender. Don't kill me. I can acknowledge you as my master and serve you. The Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor screamed in fear. He was truly afraid now. He stood no chance against 2E, who had the Heavenly Tao Soldier. He would definitely be killed. It was the first time in countless years that he felt such fear. Not interested. Kill. Lu Ming said coldly. Die. 2E roared ferociously as the meteor hammer smashed towards the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming, you will die a horrible death. Arg. The Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor screamed hysterically. He used all his means to escape, but it was useless. Under the attack of the Heavenly Tao Soldier, all his means were superfluous. Bam! The Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor's body exploded in the air. Even his soul was turned into ashes under the attack of the Heavenly Tao Soldier. The Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor, a Heavenly Emperor, died just like that. At this moment, the surrounding crowd was numb. They could not make a sound. They were stunned as they looked at Lu Ming. A Heavenly Emperor was dead. A Heavenly Emperor was killed by Lu Ming's subordinates. This scene was too impactful, too shocking. A Heavenly Emperor was a legendary figure in the Yuan realm. They were supreme beings who would never face a heavenly tribulation. They had an endless lifespan, the same lifespan as the heavens and earth. Their combat strength was boundless. It was extremely difficult to meet such a figure. But now, one of them had fallen in front of them. Moreover, it was because of a young man. Young master, that guy's storage ring. 2E flew back and handed a storage ring to Lu Ming. It was left behind by the Nine Demon Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming nodded and kept the storage ring. Let's go, Lu Ming said and was about to leave. Young hero Lu Ming, please wait. At this moment, a voice sounded. Lu Ming was slightly stunned. He stopped and turned around. 5 to 6 figures walked over. Lu Ming recognized 2 of them. They were Dongfang Shuiyu and Xian Lin. What? Is the Xian family trying to find trouble with me? Lu Ming said coldly. Xian Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, and a few elders of the Xian family shuddered. An elder with a face full of wrinkles was full of smiles. He cupped his fists and said, Young brother Lu Ming, you must be joking. How would we dare to fight with you? We're here to apologize. Xian Lin, Dongfang Shuiyu, hurry up and apologize to young brother Lu Ming. In the end, the elder looked coldly at Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu. Just now, they saw the Mu family being annihilated. In the end, even a celestial emperor was killed. They were almost scared to death. They were afraid that Lu Ming would attack the Xian family because of Xian Lin. If that happened, the Xian family would definitely perish. So when they saw that Lu Ming was about to leave, they hurriedly came out and apologized to Lu Ming. Xian Lin and Dongfang Shuiyu stepped forward with pale faces. They clasped their fists and bowed. "We were blind before and offended you. Please forgive us and don't stoop to our level." Lu Ming did not comment. He waved his hand casually and walked away without saying anything. Autumn Moon, Bubbles, Dandan, 2E, and Lei Yi followed Lu Ming and disappeared without a trace. Chapter 2401. However, Lu Ming didn't take the Xian family's matter to heart at all. Now, his enemies in the primordial realm had basically been eliminated by him. He could almost be at ease. Next, Lu Ming still had two things to do. The first was to deal with the Death Kingdom. The second was the matter of the Hunyuan sect's inheritors. Back then, he passed the Hunyuan sect's assessment and obtained the position of the Hunyuan sect's gold inheritor. At that time, he obtained a list. That list recorded the inheritors of the Hunyuan sect since ancient times, such as the silver inheritors and the bronze inheritors. According to the rules, these inheritors had to obey Lu Ming. However, in the past, Lu Ming didn't dare to rely on his status as a gold inheritor to go and order these people, because most of these people were now martial emperors. Among them, there were even true emperors and great emperors. With Lu Ming's previous strength, if he went to these people, he would probably be slapped to death by them. But now, he could. Lu Ming planned to subdue all these people first, then get rid of the Death Kingdom. However, to subdue those people, he needed to wait until the news of the Aeon City spread. That way, it would be much more convenient to do it. Lu Ming and the others stayed in the Aeon City. News of the battle in the Aeon City spread like a hurricane. Not only did it spread in the Divine Fate Land, but it also spread to other regions. For a time, a magnitude 12 earthquake occurred in the primordial realm. Lu Ming returned with a strong force and destroyed the overlord of the Aeon City, the Mu family, in one fell swoop. He killed all the experts of the Mu family and displayed a terrifying combat strength. But the most shocking thing was that in the end, a heavenly emperor figure wanted to kill Lu Ming, but he was easily killed by Lu Ming's subordinates. Lu Ming's subordinates actually had a terrifying heavenly emperor figure. Everyone who heard this news was violently shocked. They knew that Lu Ming had risen against the heavens. Back then, Lu Ming was asserted by a heavenly emperor that he would never become an emperor in this life. Many people called him trash. But how many years had it been? Lu Ming rose to power. His battle prowess was terrifyingly strong. He killed more than a dozen great emperors from the Mu clan alone. That was more than 10 great emperors. What kind of battle record was that? It was simply frightening. What was even more terrifying was that Lu Ming still had the Celestial Arch as his subordinate. When people heard this, they were dumbfounded and speechless. Everyone knew that an invincible figure had risen with an unstoppable momentum. Time passed quickly, and a month passed in the blink of an eye. Over the past month, the entire Yuan continent had been talking about Lu Ming. It's time. The first one is the Lu family. They happen to be in Aeon City. In an inn in Aeon City, the corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled into a smile. Then, he led Dandan and the others in a certain direction. The Lu family was a powerful force in Aeon City. Their strength was not any weaker than the Xian family. According to the Hunyuan sect's list, the ancestor of the Lu family was the inheritor of the Hunyuan sect. Furthermore, he was a silver inheritor. The Lu family was considered one of the strongest forces among the inheritors of the Hunyuan sect. As soon as Lu Ming moved, those who had been paying attention to Lu Ming immediately knew about it. Immediately, countless people followed Lu Ming from afar. Where is Lu Ming going? This direction seems to be the direction of the Lu family. Could it be that Lu Ming is going to the Lu family? Many people secretly guessed. Now, it could be said that Lu Ming's every move was affecting people's hearts. The Lu family had also received the news early. The entire upper echelon of the Lu family was alarmed. Some of the Lu family's founding members who were in seclusion came out one after another. The Lu family fell into a tense atmosphere. Lu Ming was coming to the Lu family? What for? Could it be that someone in the Lu family had offended Lu Ming? The upper echelons of the Lu family were extremely anxious. Lu Ming's speed was neither fast nor slow. Soon, he arrived at the Lu family. As soon as Lu Ming arrived, a large group of figures flew out of the Lu family. Some of the leaders were white-haired old men. They were all experts of the Lu family, and there were more than a dozen great emperors. Little brother Lu Ming, we're honored by your presence. Sorry for not coming out to meet you. The Lu family head stepped forward and cupped his fists repeatedly with a smile on his face. He was very polite. Not to mention other things, Lu Ming's strength alone was worthy of him being polite. Now, no one would treat Lu Ming as a young junior. Instead, they would treat him as a powerful emperor with unfathomable abilities. You're welcome. Lu Ming cupped his fists casually. I wonder what brings little brother Lu Ming to my Lu family? The Lu family head asked tentatively. I want to see Lu Gao. Lu Ming said bluntly. Lu Gao was the ancestor of the Lu family. You want to see the ancestor? The Lu family head's expression changed. Why? I can't? Lu Ming said. Of course you can. However, the ancestor is in seclusion. We can inform him. Little brother Lu Ming can come in and have a seat first. How about it? The Lu family head said. All right. Lu Ming nodded and followed the Lu family's people into the Lu family's residence. The Lu family head immediately served delicious wine and delicacies. Lu Ming smiled slightly. This was the change brought about by strength. If he didn't have the battle with the Mu family and didn't have the reputation and strength, Lu Ming would probably be slapped to death by the Lu family's experts if he rashly went to the Lu family and asked to see their ancestor. But now, the other party wanted to serve him politely. He just had to wait. Lu Ming, Autumn Moon, and the others chatted while waiting. They didn't have to wait for too long. The Lu family head and the others followed an old man with a face full of wrinkles. I'm Lu Gao. Greetings, little brother Lu. The old man greeted with a smile as soon as he arrived. This old man was the ancestor of the Lu family, Lu Gao. He was also the silver successor of the Hunyuan sect. Obviously, he had heard about Lu Ming, which was why he was so polite. Senior, you're too polite. Lu Ming also smiled slightly. Little brother Lu Ming, why are you looking for me? Lu Gao asked with a puzzled look in his eyes. Senior, do you remember what this is? A token appeared in Lu Ming's hand. This token was the gold successor token of the Hunyuan sect. Seeing this token, Lu Gao's expression suddenly changed and he blurted out, the gold successor of the Hunyuan sect. Senior, do you still remember the oath back then? Lu Ming asked with a smile. Lu Gao's expression changed rapidly. With his cultivation, the oath back then couldn't restrain him at all. He could completely break free from the shackles of the oath. However, the person in front of him was Lu Ming, an unparalleled genius who had just annihilated the Mu family. Moreover, behind him stood several terrifying celestial emperors. He had to be cautious. Lu Gao naturally remembers the oath back then. After saying that, Lu Gao moved and a token appeared in his hand. It was the silver successor token of the Hunyuan sect. Lu Ming didn't say anything and waited for Lu Gao to continue. Chapter 2402. I sensed the appearance of a gold inheritor decades ago, but I didn't expect it to be you. I'm Lu Gao. Greetings, young master. After that, Lu Gao cupped his fists and bowed deeply to Lu Ming. On the side, the Lu family head and the others were dumbfounded. Senior, there's no need to be so polite. Please rise. Lu Ming smiled. Lu Gao's action was equivalent to surrendering to Lu Ming. What are you waiting for? Bow to the young master. From now on, the Lu family will follow the young master's lead. If the young master has any orders in the future, the Lu family will follow him to death. Lu Gao looked at the Lu family head and the others. So it's the gold inheritor of the Hunyuan sect. The Lu family's upper echelons had already guessed what was going on. They looked at each other and then bowed to Lu Ming. If an ordinary genius came with the Hunyuan sect's gold inheritor token, they would have driven him out even if they didn't kill him on the spot. However, Lu Ming was different. Lu Ming's talent was too amazing. Now that his strength was unparalleled, his future was limitless. It was not impossible for the Lu family to submit to Lu Ming. Everyone, please rise. Lu Ming hurriedly helped the Lu family's upper echelons up. Since the other party was willing to submit to him, it was natural that they had taken a fancy to his strength and potential. Naturally, he would not put on an overbearing appearance. Just remember this. I still have to go somewhere else. Goodbye. After saying that, Lu Ming directly stepped into the air and left. After Lu Ming and the others came out, many people were speculating. They didn't know what happened to Lu Ming and the Lu family. Lu Ming didn't stay. Soon, he left Aeon City and went to his next target. Tianwen sect, a huge force in the Divine Land. Its strength was not inferior to the Lu family. An ancestor of the Tianwen sect was also a silver inheritor of the Hunyuan sect. After Lu Ming's arrival, everyone in the Tianwen sect was polite. This trip was also very successful. The patriarch of the Tianwen sect was willing to submit. The main reason was that he had killed a heavenly emperor in the Battle of Aeon City. This was too much of a deterrent. Those sects and forces did not dare to resist at all. If Lu Ming wanted to destroy them in a fit of anger, they would not be able to resist. Following that, Lu Ming went to one force after another, according to the list. There were both big and small powers, and they were not limited to the Divine Fate Land. There were also other regions. Lu Ming used a full 3 months to visit all of these forces. In the past 3 months, Lu Ming had almost traveled all over the Yuan continent. None of those forces dared to rebel. They all obediently submitted. This way, Lu Ming's invisible power was already extremely terrifying. It spread throughout the Yuan continent. At that time, as long as Lu Ming waved his arm, experts would gather and shake the world. After settling these matters, Lu Ming returned to Celestial City and asked Autumn Moon to stay in Celestial City. It's time to get rid of the nation of death. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. He would not be at ease if he did not get rid of this force. At that moment, he brought Dandan, Bubbles, 2E, and Lei back to the Divine Fate Land. After arriving at the Divine Fate Land, Lu Ming followed the memories of the Nation of Death's assassin and headed towards a barren place. Here, they found a remote teleportation formation. Through this teleportation formation, they arrived at a hidden cave. However, this was far from their destination. They left the cave and went to a secluded place tens of thousands of miles away. They found another teleportation formation and teleported away. Just like that, they were teleported 9 times. After the 9th teleportation, they finally arrived at their destination. Below the ground, a huge plaza suddenly emitted a dazzling light. Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, 2E, and Lei appeared. Who are you people? As soon as Lu Ming and the rest appeared, they heard a cold shout. Lu Ming looked around and saw a few figures around the plaza. They were looking at them in shock. We are the ones who will kill you, Lu Ming said coldly and threw out a punch. These few people had just entered the martial emperor realm. How could they block Lu Ming's punch? They were directly smashed into pieces. What a huge city! Lu Ming and the rest looked ahead. In front of them, a huge city stood there. The city walls were inlaid with glowing stones, giving the place some light. This ancient city was underground. It was the ancient city in the Nation of Death's assassins' memories, the headquarters of the Nation of Death. The place where they were now was a plaza in front of the ancient city's gate. Enemy attack! At that moment, a sharp cry came from the ancient city, startling the entire city. Swoosh! 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 In the ancient city, there were constantly black shadows flashing. They were all assassins from the Nation of Death. Today, we will destroy the Nation of Death. Lu Ming took the lead and stepped forward. The group moved quickly and approached the ancient city in an instant. There were no defensive arrays in the ancient city. The Nation of Death had never been found in the countless years. Naturally, there was no need for any defensive arrays. They easily passed through the city walls. Kill! Kill them! As soon as they entered the ancient city, sharp sword glows stabbed at them from all directions. However, these sword lights all stopped halfway. Bubbles used the space-time law to freeze them in the air. Return! Bubbles waved his small hand and these sword lights shot back at an even faster speed than before. Puff! 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 Blood splattered and miserable screams filled the air. Dozens of black-clothed assassins died on the spot, stabbed to death by their own sword lights. However, in the ancient city, black shadows flashed and more assassins rushed over. Lu Ming's body emitted 17 different kinds of light. These lights condensed into spear lights that shot out in all directions. At the same time, Bubbles and Dandan also attacked. Attacks shot out in all directions. Puff, puff. The black-clothed assassins were killed continuously. Their corpses fell to the ground like raindrops. The strongest among these assassins was only a true emperor. Naturally, they were not a match for Bubbles and were killed in large numbers. Tu-yi and Lei-yi did not attack. They were brought here as a precaution. There was no need for them to take care of these assassins. They moved forward like tigers in a flock of sheep. The assassins in black were killed by them continuously. They continued to advance towards the center of the city. Retreat. A voice came from the center of the city. In an instant, the black-clothed assassins retreated rapidly and disappeared without a trace. However, there was a terrifying killing intent in the center of the city. 1, 2, 3. There were more than 30 auras, and every one of them was extremely terrifying. Every one of them emitted an extremely cold, murderous intent. Great emperors. These auras belonged to great emperors. Chapter 2403. Swoosh, swoosh. In the depths of the Death God Nation's ancient city, there were more than 30 great emperors. Lu Ming. When they saw Lu Ming's appearance, someone exclaimed. The martial monarchs came to a stop. Their eyes were filled with terror. They did not expect Lu Ming to be the one who made it here. The Death God Nation naturally knew about the battle in Aeon City. They did not expect Lu Ming to find the headquarters of the Death God Nation. They looked at Tu-yi and Lei-yi who were behind Lu Ming and were even more terrified. Retreat! Get out of here! One of them shouted and retreated quickly. There were heavenly emperors around Lu Ming. How were they going to fight? They would die if they went up to fight. Now, they only wanted to escape from here. Senior Tu-yi, Senior Lei-yi, sorry to trouble you. Lu Ming transmitted his voice to Tu-yi and Lei-yi. There were so many great emperors. If he wanted to kill them all, he could only ask Tu-yi and Lei-yi for help. I can do it alone. Lei-yi was the first to speak. He then turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out. Tu-yi smiled and did not make a move. Zzz. After Lei-yi rushed out, the sky was suddenly filled with endless lightning. Bolts of lightning that were thicker than an arm covered the sky like a spider web and blasted towards the 30 great emperors. These bolts of lightning were not ordinary bolts of lightning. They were superpowers that Lei-yi condensed with the heavenly Tao. Bam! Bam! Those great emperors were struck by the lightning. They did not even have time to scream before they were blasted into ashes. Ordinary great emperors would be killed instantly when facing a heavenly emperor. More than 30 great emperor realm assassins were slaughtered in an instant. All of you, die. Lei-yi did not stop there. He waved his hand and a ball of lightning appeared in the sky. This ball of lightning floated in the sky above the ancient city. It then exploded and turned into countless bolts of lightning. They were like raindrops as they blasted towards the assassins in the ancient city. Bam! 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 In an instant, countless assassins in the ancient city were killed by the lightning and turned into ashes. It was unknown how many assassins there were in the headquarters of the Grim Reaper Nation, but at this moment, almost all of them were wiped out. And, at this moment, a cold light flashed in Lei-yi's eyes as he headed towards the depths of the ancient city. Lu Ming and the others quickly followed. Whoosh! 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 In the depths of the ancient city, 7 or 8 figures were moving rapidly in another direction at an incredible speed. Peak Great Emperor. Lu Ming's heart trembled. These 7 to 8 figures were all peak great emperors. The Death Kingdom's strength was truly terrifying. One should know that a great force like the Mu clan only had 2 peak great emperors. In Death Kingdom, there were a total of 8 peak great emperors. Moreover, their speed was astonishing. If only Lu Ming and Dandan were here, they probably wouldn't be able to stop them. But now, with Tu-yi, Lei-yi, and the others, it was different. You still want to run in front of me? Lei-yi sneered and took a step forward. His figure directly turned into a bolt of lightning and rushed out. In an instant, he caught up with the other party. Sizzle! Lightning filled Lei Yi's hand, forming a lightning spear that pierced out. Quickly destroy that crystal pagoda. At this moment, one of the 8 people shouted, "Bam!" In the next moment, the 8 people were pierced by the lightning spear. Although the 8 of them were peak great emperors, they were completely useless in the face of the heavenly Thearch's attack. A few of them actually let out ear-piercing screams. A black shadow was violently twisting in their bodies. There was actually a third eye in between the eyebrows of this black shadow. Evil God Tribe. Seeing this black shadow, Lu Ming was shocked. In an instant, he thought of many things. Back then, the Evil Spirit Sect and the Demon Spirit Sect were also founded by the Evil God Tribe. Obviously, the Death Kingdom was the same as the Evil Spirit Sect and the Demon Spirit Sect. They were all founded by the Evil God Tribe. No wonder they often assassinated the experts and geniuses of the primordial realm. Those figures twisted a few times, then turned into ashes and dissipated. Crystal Pagoda. In the next moment, Lu Ming thought of the Crystal Pagoda. Before that Evil God Tribe expert died, he shouted, "Quickly destroy that Crystal Pagoda." Since an Evil God Tribe expert was still thinking about it, that Crystal Pagoda must be very important. "Find that Crystal Pagoda," Lu Ming shouted. "Found it." Bubbles spoke. Then, she waved her hands, and a space-time tunnel appeared in the air. On the other side of the space-time tunnel, there was a Crystal Pagoda that was about 3 meters tall. It was sparkling and covered with all kinds of runes, and 2 black-clothed assassins were rushing toward the Crystal Pagoda. Obviously, they wanted to destroy the Crystal Pagoda. "Don't even think about it in front of me." Sizzle! Lei Yi directly rushed through the space-time tunnel. 2 bolts of lightning burst out and killed the 2 black-clothed assassins. Then, Lu Ming, Dandan, Bubbles, and Tui also rushed through the space-time tunnel and arrived at the Crystal Pagoda. The Crystal Pagoda was densely covered with runes, dazzling and colorful. "What is this?" Lu Ming looked at it carefully and was a little puzzled. Could it be the array foundation of a great array? So it's this kind of thing. Dandan touched his chin and looked like he was in deep thought. "Dandan, do you know what this is?" Lu Ming asked curiously. "Of course I know. This is the oldest kind of message transmission tool. It's almost lost now. It seems like the Evil God Tribe still has this kind of message transmission tool." Dandan said. "Message transmission tool?" Lu Ming's eyes lit up and said, "Dandan, can you decipher the message inside?" "The message transmission tool of the Evil God Tribe. For the Evil God Tribe to value it so much, there might be some incredible news inside." "Young Master, I'll go and get rid of the remaining assassins." Lei Yi's figure swayed and left. As for Dandan, he started to wander around the Crystal Pagoda and started to study it. After a while, Lei Yi returned. Obviously, he had gotten rid of all the assassins and even brought back all the storage rings of the assassins. This was an incomparably huge harvest. The Death God Nation had been accumulating resources for so many years. Now, all of them belonged to Lu Ming. Lu Ming kept all of them. If the Dragon Alliance wanted to develop in the future, they would definitely need a huge amount of resources. The more they accumulated now, the better. Dandan continued to study. After a few hours, Dandan started to take action. Runes entered the Crystal Pagoda one after another. "Open." After Dandan circled the Crystal Pagoda 360 times, he bellowed and took a step forward. Countless runes covered the Crystal Pagoda. Buzz. A buzzing sound came from the Crystal Pagoda. The top of the Crystal Pagoda shone brightly. Then, streams of information spread out from the Crystal Pagoda. It was very strange. They stood at the side of the Crystal Pagoda and could clearly see the information. In fact, there were even images that appeared. When Lu Ming came into contact with some of the information, his eyes widened and he was shocked. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.